How bad is your safety program? Well, if you're like most managers that I talk to, you probably feel like, it could be better. And that's normal and that's okay. But today I want to talk about a glass half full approach. Today we're going to talk about 7 signs that your safety management system is better than you think. This is going to be an optimistic video. And hopefully, as we go through these 7 different signs, you'll be able to just simply check, check, check. And at the end of this, you'll feel good about yourself. It doesn't mean the work is done. We still know there's work to be done, but this is a great way to say, you know what? It's not as bad as it feels like it is. In fact, we're doing okay. So let's dive in. Hey, before we jump into this video, I just want to remind you, today is the day to download your free OSHA audit checklist. Just go to my website, helpwithosha.com, and you can download a free checklist that will explain everything you need to know about preparing your team for an OSHA inspection. So we talk about how OSHA inspections happen, like the process. We also talk about why they happen. We talk about what you can do to prevent an OSHA inspection from happening. Like the number one thing you can do to prevent an OSHA inspection from happening. So we're going to talk about all that. And guess what? It is a free checklist. So go to my website, helpwithosha.com, download this free checklist. Now, let's talk about the 7 signs that your safety program is better than you think. The very first one is people are reporting accidents. Now, this sounds counterintuitive. You're like, wait a minute. If people are reporting accidents, that means I got a bad program. Some places, people don't report accidents. They just wait for medical bills or lawyers to call. So we want people to be communicating with us. We want people to be communicating with us. And to take it a step further, we want to have a system in place so that when people report an accident, we have a process of reporting that accident so that the person gets medical attention. That's by far the number one thing. But number 2, we want to find out what happened and prevent it from happening again. So having a process in place so that we can put corrective actions in place will make things a whole lot better. So the good news is if people are talking to you, then they're reporting the accidents. Number 2, your forklift operators are certified. Now, what I mean by this is you have your forklift operators have been trained and certified. OSHA requires that this is done every 3 years by you. Some companies do it more often, but the company, the employer, has to provide the training to the employees. So you can't simply say, oh, well, Jimmy, he came from another company. He's been driving a forklift for 25 years. That doesn't matter when it comes to the OSHA standard. You have to train the employees on the equipment they're using at your facility, and you got to make sure they know the hazards at your facility because every company is a little bit different. So if you have trained and certified forklift operators, give yourself a big thumbs up in that column. That is a step in the right direction. Number 3, you have written safety programs. Meaning this isn't just, well, we always did it this way. No, this is actually a written program. And you might be thinking, well, David, we have written programs, but they're not really up to date. Again, glass half full. At least you have one. Sometimes the hardest thing is getting a program in place, and then you go back and you update it periodically and make sure that it actually matches what's happening out there on the floor. So making sure that you have a written program in place is a big deal. Now, the follow-up question to that is, well, what safety topics are required to have written programs? I've got a whole nother video that explains that, but some of the essential programs, you got to have an emergency action plan, which talks about how we're going to evacuate the building, what the fire alarm sounds like, who the emergency coordinator is. You have to have a lockout tagout program. You have to have a powered industrial truck program. You have to have a hazard communication program. And then depending on your industry, there might be other things, right? If you have a laser and you're working with cutting metal, you might have to have a laser safety program. So there's different programs. There's obviously fall protection and respiratory and PPE. There's different programs. But ask yourself, do we have any written programs? If you do, hey, that's a big, we got one check in the right box. And number 4, that program is really important that you have some kind of annual training. So number 4 is, do you have annual training? And more specifically, do you have training records? Meaning, as I'm recording this, we're in 2025. You should be able to look back in time and say, yep, we got training records for 2024. We got training records for 2023. Now, you don't got to go way back in time. But again, we just want to make sure that we are training our employees on the safety programs that we have written. That way people know, hey, this is how we label chemicals. This is how we do our forklift inspections. So making sure that you have annual training at a minimum. Now, obviously you want to do better than that. You want to have monthly or weekly trainings in place for certain topics. But again, starting out, do we have annual training in place? Now, number 5, this is the 5th sign that your safety program is better than you think it is. PPE is being worn. Hence, I'm not saying you got PPE. People are actually wearing it. People are wearing the safety glasses. People are wearing the gloves. People are wearing the steel-toed boots. You got to make sure people are wearing the safety equipment that you say they need to be wearing. And if they are, whew, man, that's a good sign. I was doing a safety audit just the other week with a company, and I walked through, and I was amazed because they had a lot of problems, but one problem they didn't have was people wearing their PPE. Everybody, including people that had just started, were wearing safety glasses and earplugs, and they all knew they were supposed to. It was a culture. We're wearing our PPE. So that makes it that's like, again, that's a great sign. You're moving in the right direction. All right, number 6. A good sign is we got machine guarding in place. If we walk through a company, me and you, we walk through a company together and the guards are taken off and they're sitting on the floor and the machine's running, that's a problem. And believe it or not, I see that way more than I'd like when I go into a company and I see guarding that's been taken off, and you kind of look around. You're like, I know it's supposed to have a guard, and then you look and it's on the corner and it's covered with cobwebs and dust. Yeah, that's a problem. So everything that's under 7 foot has to have a guard on it. We want to make sure that if it's not a physical guard, like a fixed guard, that there's a pressure sensing device or some kind of interlock. We got some kind of machine guard in place or machine device in place. Now, the last sign that your safety program is better than you think, you're watching this video. That's right. You are intentionally improving safety because you are actually watching a video about how to improve safety. So just by watching this video, you've proved my point. Your safety program is better than you think. Doesn't mean you can't improve some more, but we want to eat this elephant one bite at a time. So take this information, pat yourself on the back, feel good about it. These are things that not every company does, and they should. Now, if you say you got 6 out of 7, or maybe you got 5 out of 4, 5 out of 7. If you missed 1 or 2 of these, that's your opportunity. That's your homework. Go make sure that you put these in place with your team. These are things that everybody should be doing. And again, if you're doing them, fantastic. We want to continue improving, and we want to be intentional about focusing on areas that we can improve one day at a time. Took you a while to get in this mess. It's going to take you a while to get out of the mess. And that's okay. The key is to focus on the right areas. The thing that frustrates me to death as a safety coach is when I talk with someone like you and you're working really, really hard, you're putting in 50, 60 hours a week, and you're working on the wrong stuff. Don't work on the wrong stuff. Focus on the priorities that are actually going to prevent accidents, and that will help you avoid OSHA inspections. We don't want people getting hurt, So we want to focus on the right issues, do a safety assessment. In one of my other videos, I talk about the safety steps. This is my process for helping you develop a safety management system that works in the real world. And until we talk again, check out my OSHA audit checklist. Go to my website, Help with OSHA. If I can help you in any way, I'd be glad to help you. I coach safety managers every day, and I want to do all I can to help you prevent accidents and avoid OSHA, because no one should get hurt at work.